Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to part 4 of our series, the selves: self love, self respect, self worth, self trust, self understanding, self esteem, all of that. Everything that has to do with the selves, we're on it. But first, before we start with that, I'd like to actually apologize for my rant on part 3 on purpose. Um, like I know my energy, and that is not my energy. I'm not that type of person to be ranting like that, and like that's not me. Like honestly, um I appreciate all everybody who tries to imitate, copy, whatever. I appreciate all of that. There's no shade on them. I just want the message out. um Once again, that was on me. I still left it in because, like I said, I like to be as genuine, as authentic as I can be. But this is just an example of like just how you're constantly doing shadow work. Like that's why shadow work is so important, because I actually, after I got through with that, I actually sat with it and was just thinking like, damn, why'd I do that? So as I sat with it and I started breaking everything down, it just came down to just like just disappointment and frustration. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess more it just both disappointment and frustration, just because like for people to want to represent that, like all the sales or whatever they want to represent, and not actually do the work, is frustrating. That's what I was trying to voice, but I voiced it in a very in a way that I could do better. You know what I mean? So I will do better. Um and like I said, I apologize. But anyways, well, that's that. Second thing I wanted to talk about actually is when I was talking about purpose, let's talk about like how I actually as I found my purpose, that's when I found my baby mama, or like yeah, the girl that I loved. And actually I lost her by losing my purpose. That's what I forgot to add. Is like, because when I like I said, when I found my purpose doing the cologne and perfume thing, like when I left that company, I left with her, for her. But that's neither here nor there. But like I left that, and when I came back to California with her, um, I didn't keep pursuing my purpose. I actually did some really just made some bad decisions. You know what I mean? Just kind of like got a regular job, and you know what I'm saying. And just I lost my spark, and I didn't blame her. Well, it's not that I didn't blame her, but it's like now that I was doing my shadow work, I I don't blame her. I, I don't think I blamed her back then either, but it was like different things. But like I don't blame her. I don't blame her now, just because like a man without a purpose, like who would want to follow that? You know what I mean? So yeah. So basically, yeah. Um, do your shadow work, find a purpose. You know what I'm saying, and stay on your purpose. 'Cause when you don't stay on your purpose, bad things can happen. You know what I mean? Bad things will happen. Anyways, all right. Back to the selves. Um. All right. So well, let's just go back to shadow work. Now, when as you do the shadow work, okay. Well, first let me also sorry. I know I'm all over the place, but like, all right. So remember, like what I'm telling you guys, like how I'm doing this course or these steps is this is not like a this is like the Cliff Notes version. This is not, I'm not gonna delve deep into why you got to do this or that. I'm gonna tell you like just kind of like a rough blueprint. You know what I mean? Because like everybody's journey is not gonna be the same. Um, it's like how you get to your points, how you get to your alignment. Because like all of this is just to get you into alignment with your best version of yourself. You know what I mean? And how you get to that alignment is going to differ from person to person, because we're not all the same. And these steps are like they're steps, but in terms of like how you execute it and what you go through to execute them are going to be different. You know what I mean? It's like what I say is like it's a saying that I just thought about. It's like if you put a random situation, put two people that, you know what I'm saying, like that grew up differently, that had like a different thought process. You put them in a situation, they may come with the same conclusion. You know what I'm saying, they may come to the same conclusion to that situation. But if you put them in another situation, they may come to a different conclusion. You know what I mean? It's just because like, you know what I'm saying, like people's brains process things differently. How their thought process is different. So it's like, um you know what I'm saying, like how you achieve your goals may be different than the next person, or how you reach like how your thought process works may differ. So like I said, so this is not like a step by this is not like a like I say, step by step. This is not like, well, you have to do this to do this to do this. I'm just saying, like with your shadow work, do your shadow work, have a purpose. As you do your shadow work, you're gonna actually work on yourself, your self love, your self worth, your self respect, your self trust, your self understanding, and with like really the main one you really want to concentrate on is your self love, because that like 'cause at the end of the day, like how can you properly love anything if you don't properly love yourself? You know what I mean? And how can you properly love yourself if you're not even loving your true self? And how do you love your true self? By doing your shadow work. And that right there is the key. Shadow work. So I know I always say shadow work, but I'm telling you right now, working on yourself, like doing the work, dramatically will improve your life. Like I'm telling you right now, if you have any sort of depression, do your shadow work. I guarantee you, if you have any type of depression and you actually do your shadow work and you actually do it like effectively, you actually really do it. Like you don't quit. You sit with it and you you figure it out. I promise you, like any depression you have will fucking disappear, because you won't be depressed, because you'll be filled with so much self love. Because like I don't think people realize, like as you see your true self, you start to love yourself, and like that's the whole point of like your true self is for you to love every piece of you, good, bad, ugly, scarred, traumatized, bad experience, whatever the fuck you've been through in your life. Like doing the shadow work makes you acknowledge everything you've been through and kind of like brings everything to a different perspective, because now you see like, okay, well, at the end of the day, all the shit I've been through, look at me now. You know what I mean? And that give you a better appreciation of yourself. You could like even if you think you made bad decisions, it's okay. Just remember, like that's part of life, baby. You gotta fucking you can't always make the right decision. You can't always make the right choice. You can't always do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Because like shit, nobody's fucking perfect. You gotta remember that nobody's fucking perfect. I'm not fucking perfect. You know what? I fucked up some. Let me tell you something. Since I was a kid, I've dealt with terrible, terrible self esteem problems, self love problems, self worth problems. Because I grew up with a very emotional, distant father, and that really fucked up my head and gave me a lot of just like I said, a lot of like just a lot of issues dealing with rejection, abandonment. Am I enough? Why aren't I enough? And that's why I actually I built my walls up. You know what I mean? And I would feel so much on my ego. I built such a mask up. Like I was all fucking ego. I was all like it was everything was surface level. You know what I'm saying? The minute anything got deep, I I was not prepared for that. So it's like, and like that's why I said like shadow work is important, because like you start to break that down, and I start to like my true self, as I started like seeing myself, like my actual self. I started realizing like, oh, you know what? Like I'm actually like, I'm actually, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually somebody who's worth. I'm actually worth it. I'm actually, you know what I'm saying? Like it started like that love started for myself started growing. You know what I mean? Like I said, like once you start, when you drop the mask and you do your shadow work, you start to become more aligned. Your alignment starts to become more centered on your true self. And like as you become more centered with your true self, it's like you start being more capable of reaching the best version of yourself, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because you can't become the best version of yourself if you're not truly the version, you know, saying like the truest version of yourself, if that makes sense. So, yeah. So that's how self love should, oh, like I said, that should be your first love. The first person you ever fall in love with should theoretically, technically, well, okay, it's gonna be like your parents, obviously, because like as a baby you can't really take care of yourself, so you know what I'm saying. But like when it comes down to it, you should be the first person you love, because like I said, it's like how can you properly love anybody if you don't properly love yourself? Or like how can you expect how can you expect someone to properly love you if you don't even know how to properly love yourself? You know what I mean? So it's like you have to know that. Yet and that actually ties into your self-worth. But once you work on yourself, when you as you're working on yourself, like as that grows, that's when you're gonna start, as you do your shadow work, it's gonna lead to um really it's gonna lead to you building strong boundaries. Now, boundaries is very important. I don't care what nobody says. Like if you don't have strong boundaries, or even if, okay, yeah, you can't have weak boundaries. You gotta have strong boundaries, and you have to be able to really enforce the consequences for people crossing your boundaries. You know what I mean? You can't make excuses for them, or like, oh well, nah, he this, or she was, no, no. If they cross your boundaries, fuck it, you gotta lay down the law. And really, like, I used to be the type of person like I didn't have no boundaries, so I used to get. You know what I'm saying, I used to overgive. I trust me, like the previous versions of me, the past versions of me that I've actually that I have actually killed, or not really killed, but like I've let die, so the new version of me could be born again. Like I was, I had no boundaries, and that was terrible. But like strong boundaries are required. Now, why? Because when you have strong boundaries, that's when your self respect rate you build start building up your self respect. You know what I mean? Because like if you know what I'm saying, like when you hold down your boundaries, it's like it's like you're respecting yourself, because like it should be kind of like obvious. You know what I mean? Like if someone crosses your boundaries, you're like, nah, fuck that. You know, so you're respecting yourself, and you know what I'm saying. Like you cross that line, I'm gonna show you. I mean, it's like you showing them like don't cross that line, and it's like they cross the line, then you gotta you know what I'm saying. You gotta let them know what's up, and you know what I'm saying, like regular people terms. But that also is like very having boundaries. I feel like is good twofold, especially when you like want to have like just any type of ship, like whether it be a friendship, relationship, situationship, because like it sets the baseline on how you want to be treated. So then you can start figuring out. Well, okay, first of all, it builds like your self respect. Also, it builds your respect for the person you're dealing with, because like if somebody is constantly trying to cross your boundaries or trying to like test your boundaries, like you should not be like first of all like that. You should, for you know what I'm saying, fries that guy, like, you know, put the fries in the bag and tell him have a good day, or tell her have a good day, because like fuck that, why would you deal with that? You know what I mean? Them the people that were like down the line, you'd be like, oh man, why did he do this, or why did she do this? I should have known. Blah blah. Like yo, like did you have boundaries? Yeah. Did they cross them? Yeah. Well, why the fuck are you still dealing with them? Or you know what I'm saying? Like it's common sense. And then like really, like I always tell people like when you're dealing with people. Like if they don't have boundaries, um, move accordingly. Like if I'm dealing with um anybody with no boundaries, I already know like okay, there's nothing long term with this person. There's nothing may not even be nothing short term with this person. You know what I'm saying? It may just be like the you know what I'm saying, this time only. You know what I mean? Um, and that's how I run. Like you know what I'm saying? It's you. Boundaries tell you a lot about about a person. You know what I mean? Like that's like how can I explain this? How can I explain this? Um, yeah, zero boundaries means that's exactly how long you should expect like anything to last for. Kind of like medium, light to medium boundaries. Um, you can, but like you should really be just noticing like more go with like intuition and the patterns that they run. Like people with strong boundaries that respect your boundaries, don't the people that um you start respecting more, and you also start building more trust with. Now, like that's another key thing about boundaries is that boundary that like establishing boundaries will um build stronger trust between people, straight up. You know what I mean? Because then, like, I don't know if you guys realize, like, having respect, you know what I'm saying, is between people is the best way to build trust. You know what I mean? Um, yeah, pretty much. And like, the more you trust somebody, the stronger. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, like, trust comes, and then like, actual like love comes after that. You know what I mean? But that goes back to when you're setting up your boundaries, your self-respect raises up. That means your self-trust is like you trust yourself now. You know what I'm saying? You trust yourself to make the right decisions at the right time. You know what I mean? And so that in turn increases your self-love. See, like I don't know if you guys realize, like all of this is it builds upon itself. Like as you raise your self-love, your self-respect, your self-worth, um it like it refresh it like it's like a it's like it builds your found first of all it builds your like your foundation of yourself for self, builds that stronger. You know what I mean? So it's like your your need for like external validations, those decrease. You know what I'm saying? Like because you start knowing it's like you stop seeking those validations because you validate yourself, and as you start validating yourself, like those cells start rising up again. You know what I mean? To the point where like you're like you are like what's that word, sovereignty, sovereign, but you are sovereign over your over you, where you no longer require people to like affect who like your feelings and emotions. You know what I mean? Like and then like in certain individuals you could like that you could start affecting other people's like just without even trying, or so I've heard. You know what I mean? Not that I know anything about that. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, um, yeah. So that's what that. And then self worth. I think self worth is just that's actually like I won't say that's it's the tricky one, but it's self worth is like it's one of those things where like are you deserving for what you it's saying like that's how I look at self worth. Like are you like people say are you worthy? It's like more like do you feel like you are deserving for what you are receiving or what you're about to receive, or you know what I'm saying, like stuff like that. And um yeah, um it, like I said, it took a lot for me as I lived life to raise my self worth because I always felt like I needed to do more. I wasn't enough. You know what I mean? Like I was like growing up and like during a lot of my adult years, I was afraid to take up space. You know what I'm saying? Not I won't say afraid, but taking up space was not really like was not something I was accustomed to or used to or you know what I'm saying or wanted to do. I was one of the people out slide in the back, kind of blend in, and hopefully nobody sees me. know what I'm saying? Like I didn't want to be seen. I'm saying like I didn't feel like I was once again like I didn't think I had nothing to add. I didn't think I was what I'm saying? I didn't think I was enough. You know what I mean? But like as I've been doing my shadow work, as I've been like just growing as an individual, as I've been like just growing myself, I started noticing like I am. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that like I used to think was like bad like characteristics, like the way that like I was around people. Um, I've actually switched thinking like that because I feel like now I'm starting to see like not a lot of people are are like me. You know what I mean? I'm unique in a way where like I'm just unique in a way. You know what I mean? And so as I realized that, like I started like it just started affecting me in a way where like I started like myself was started raising up. Like I said, everybody is different, so it's like um, don't take my story, don't take what I'm saying like oh well, you know what I'm saying da da da. I don't feel this way or da 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 or like I feel this. You know what I'm saying like everybody's path to alignment, everybody's path to what everybody's path is different. You know what I'm saying of how you reach your goals, how you reach. You know what I'm saying like your alignment. So take that how it is. Um, yeah. So what was I saying? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Because I was gonna go down a whole different tangent, and I didn't want to do that. Because I'm trying to like keep keep it on the subject matter and not try to and not just ramble and yap because I'm known to ramble and yap about just random shit that has nothing to do with the subject matter. It kind of does, but it kind of doesn't. Anyways, so like yeah, and also like I guess this what self trust. I guess that's more like your intuition, but I'm not gonna really go into too much into intuition, but just know that like just trust yourself. You know what I'm saying? Start as like I said, as yourself start raising, just start trusting your decisions. Start believing, you know what I'm saying? Like believing yourself that you're making the right decisions. You know what I mean? And also like a real quick like like a cheat code is start patterns. Start noticing patterns. You know what I'm saying? Get your pattern recognition up. It could be, you know what I'm saying? Just something where you start noticing things. You know what I mean? You start noticing how people act, and then once you start noticing how people act, um, start relying on that than what they more so on like the patterns than what they say and what they do randomly. You know what I mean? Because like you'll start noticing like people patterns are usually that's how you should be judging people. You know what I'm saying? Like don't go by words, nothing like that. You know what I mean? Like trust me, it's people always show themselves. You know what I'm saying? It may take some time to figure that out, but you'll figure it out. And then understanding like once you start understanding yourself like I said it's like a big it's like the circle of life like as you start raising yourselves then it's like with the understanding like once you start understanding yourself like then yourself then it's like you start feeling more love for yourself because you're like oh you know what like I can't really explain it but it's like it's like a self-refreshing cycle you know what I mean you just have to get into that cycle, into that positive cycle, and then you're gonna start seeing how everything like just like rotates and grows bigger and better as you keep rotating it the right way. If that makes sense, I hope it does. I mean, it makes sense to me, but like I said, if it doesn't make sense to you, like I said, just come holler at me. If you make it to this step right here, if you're in the cells and you're still having difficulty time, please holler at me because that means you've done the work. Because the hardest thing to do is your shadow work. Let me tell you something. The shadow work is the hardest thing to do because that's that's because you have to you're actually peering. You know what I'm saying? You're actually looking within to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you're actually sifting through all of that shit in your mind. You know what I'm saying? And it can get messy. You know what I'm saying? But that's really the hardest thing, the hardest work you got to do. But if you get to this point right here, where we at part 4, if you're at part 4, holla at me. You know what I mean? Because that means that like you got through, it's like you got through like the hardest part, got through like the hardest part, and now you're just kind of like trying to, it's like it's the little calibrations you're doing to get fully into alignment. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't trip, I got you. You know what I'm saying? So if you're at that point, bro, like, or girl, like, don't trip, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm here for. You know what I mean? Like that's easy. We'll get you. I get you. You know what I'm saying? It's like a car checker. Boom, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Probably only need like one or two visits, and boom, I get you right. Like real talk. I know that sounds like I'm not trying to be arrogant, but I'm just confident. You know what I mean? Because like that just the service I provide. You know what I mean? That like I said, I want you all, you whoever listening, I want you to be reaching your highest frequency that you could reach. You know what I mean? That's my goal. I want you to reach that, because you doing that helps me immensely. You don't know how much it's gonna help. It helps, but it helps me immensely, and as it helps you immensely, as it helps the whole world immensely. You know what I mean? So just like I said, my success is your success. So like, if y'all doing it, y'all got it, y'all got the ball rolling, shit. Like, I like to hear that. But yeah, that's part 4. Sorry if I rambled a lot. Sorry if I didn't like delve deeper into these subjects, because it's like it's a lot more that we could talk about, but this is for actual people who are serious, for actually serious. You know what I mean? And then like then we could talk, because it's yeah. So basically, like I said, this is just rough blueprint. This is just like a Cliff Notes version. So yeah. So hopefully you guys um have taken this seriously. There's still more, but I don't know if I'm gonna go part 5, or I'm gonna just talk about other stuff that just like random shit that may give you like that helps shift your perspective on life. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for just listening. You know what I'm saying? Giving this a chance. So I hope to see y'all later. I love y'all. Remember, safe journeys. Be good. Be well. And yeah, come on, man. Like I said, spiritually driven, divinely led for a higher level resonance. That's what we do. We're trying to remember the only way forward is up. Anyway, like I said, I love y'all. Good night.